Welcome back, everybody, to the morning after. And holy shit, do we have an episode for you because we just got back from our Georgia weekend. And let me tell you what, what's a lot? Georgia.
Hotlanta, baby. Whew.
We did the two shows. They went great. The second one, I think, was better than the first. And I apologize if you were at the first show. But you know what's tough is actually putting on a show in front of your entire family.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I was intimidated, and they're not my blood, or as you would say when in Atlanta, my kin.
My kin.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know what it is, but like in front of my mom and dad, I can say whatever I want. But when you throw in aunts and cousins, and I love them so much that I would never want to embarrass them or say something that would embarrass, you know what I mean? So I apologize if you were at the first show. It wasn't my best. Hank, you fucking owned the first show though.
Let me explain as we talk. Thank you very much. And you were fantastic, and people loved hearing your stories and your funny anecdotes. But let me break down your family. We are taking a group photo, and your sister, who I enjoy thoroughly, asked me to smile and open up my mouth. And as I did, she poured a bottle of Fireball down my throat.
I'm so sorry.
And I adore her.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. She's fun. But like, who carries little shots of Fireball around?
Listen,
like, who does that?
I think it's fantastic. And I adored it. And we'll get to your mom and dad in the tailgate coming up, but I think there's something in the bloodline here. And,
you know what?
Yeah.
It's a lot to be a Hall. We have a really good time. We really do. And you know what I noticed? And I actually told this during the show, but one of the first times Matthew met my family, we are all gathered in my home. And I don't think he realizes how many people are in my family. So we have a cookout. There's 60 people there.
Yeah.
And it is all family. And so, he is out there meeting everybody. And all of a sudden I turn around, he's gone. I'm like, what the hell? And this is like the first time my family met Matt. Not my family, but the extended family. And so I knock on the door, or I'm looking around and I knock on the door. He's staying and it's locked. I'm like, what the fuck? And I walk in and he's like, I just needed 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I go, what are you talking about? My family rules. My family's so fun.
Yeah.
I'm so used to just everything being chaotic and loud that nothing kind of, I thought it was normal. Well, it turns out I leave for however many years I've been gone out of Atlanta. I come back home. I haven't seen my extended family in a long time. My mom has a cookout. And all of a sudden, I'm finding myself going, I might need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I get it. There is nothing a significant other will do better than point out all the flaws of your family.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Yeah. And let me tell you what, and I've been around the halls for many a year now, and I adore them. Buckle up.
Oh, yes.
Buckle up. But I will also piggyback by saying you will not find a more loving group of people. Once you are in the family, you are in. I mean, I was sitting next to you and I'm texting your brother who's in Detroit, but we're in Atlanta.
I know.
That
made me so happy. I was and it is true. We are very once you're part of it, we are loyal to you. It's part of where my loyalty comes from. I've learned it from this huge family of mine. And not that listen, everyone can point out flaws in everybody's family. That's the way it is because they didn't grow up with them. So they're like, ooh, that's weird. That's weird. When we find it completely normal.
Yeah.
But I adore my family. I absolutely loved being home. I loved seeing all my aunts and uncles that I hadn't seen, all my cousins. So it was an amazing trip, but Georgia's a lot.
Georgia is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of it's a lot, let's do that really quick because, before we dive deep into this Georgia episode, do you have anything going on right now that's a lot?
Not related to Georgia because
Okay, well then let me just do mine and then we'll get to yours. Okay. And I think people can relate to this as the holidays are coming up. Preparing to travel with children.
Oh.
Guys, and no one you can't pay someone to do it for you. That's not how it works. Like everyone's like, well, why don't you just have, no, because you have to know where everything is in these suitcases. You have to know, okay, it's cold this day, it's warm this day. All right, we need to make sure we have different options. And meanwhile, all my kids are like somewhat wearing the same sizes right now. Guys, to be honest, I was like going to sort it out with it. I just threw shit in a bag. And I'm praying that Orlando is not as cold as it's saying it's going to be, because all I have is bathing suits, cover-ups, and shorts and t-shirts.
They'll be fine.
Right? They'll be fine.
They'll be running. They'll be hot.
They're resilient, right?
Yeah.
The flight down there is going to fucking suck. We are in the back row of United Airlines. It's fine. Don't look at me like that. Kara's like,
oh, that means those seats don't recline.
They do not recline. My back is already fucked. So, there's that. But traveling with kids, plus when it's like a 5 or 6 hour flight and they don't feed you, like I'm bringing Uncrustables. Like, is that what I do? Because that's what I'm planning on doing for lunch, right?
I mean, unless you're me and you've literally cleaned out every Sky Club that you've touched and you're just handing out sun chips to everybody you can see.
But when I have 4 kids, they're not Sky Club. I have to pay. It's like $100 per kid.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
that's
doing
true.
that.
That's true. And when I flew to Atlanta, there was a couple that had like a 2-year-old and like a little child. Like if they're under 2, they're free. And the 2-year-old but they didn't know that.
Oh,
And
shit,
and
they said it was
the
2.
woman's like, "Excuse me, how old are your kids?" And he's like, "Oh, he's 2.5." And I was like, "Oh, wrong answer."
Say 1.5. You meant 1.5.
Right. The kid could look 13, and I'd be like, "He's 1.5. He's just very tall."
He's got that like gigantic thing, they just grow really quickly. Okay, so that is my it's a lot. I've been sweating all day trying to get myself packed because we were leaving in the morning. But tell me everything.
Mine is but I'll give you a non-Georgia. It's a lot, and it's me saluting all of you women who dress little girls, because we're going to a formal event on Friday. My very dear friend Danielle Carmanis got us tickets to Hobnobble Gobble, which if you're in Detroit, it's a fundraiser for the parade, but they put on this huge parade for kids like on Ford Field, right? Big carnival. So I went to buy Emma a dress.
Oh, no.
I bought her tights. I've kept sending pictures to friends of mine saying, like, does this go with this? And then I bought these black Mary Jane shoes, the shiny shoes. And I'm like, I did it.
Yeah.
And I got home and I'm taking it all out of the box or out of the bag, and Judge is like playing with the shoes. And I noticed that they're making a lot of noise.
Oh my God.
And he's like,
shoes.
did you mean to buy tap dancing shoes?
Oh no.
And I'm like, you know what? No, I clearly did not. And thank God you figured it out, because how embarrassing would that be if I show up with Shirley Temple and she's clicking and clacking and I'm just like, no, I didn't know. So then I returned those. Then I bought a pair that I thought looked good on Amazon. Well, they showed up and she looks like she's going to Lilith Fair. Like, I'm like, she can't wear these Mary Janes. They look like clogs. I'm like, you know what? No.
She's going to look adorable.
She's going to look adorable.
Yes.
She's going to my friend Johnny at Six Salon. Going to do her hair, get her nails done. She's very excited.
Oh, hey, good job.
I took a vacation day for it, because I'm like, it's going to take me 6 hours for her to get hair, nails, the whole thing. I'm like, I need the full day.
You know what? The next time you complain about taking a vacation day for this podcast, I'm going to remind you that you took a vacation day for your child's hair and nails. Not that I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I do think every now and then you have to leave work behind and spend time with your kid. And this is such a fun day for y'all. Like, this sounds epic.
It will
now,
be.
but I do have a question.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a fair at Ford Field and you have to dress in what?
It's formal. It's black tie for men, formal for girls, and they have 2 Ferris wheels inside, the spinning thing. TI is the entertainment.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
No way.
Last year it was Dr. Dre.
Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, and Danielle does the fancy version. So we get there for a photo in the beginning, and it's a
How long has this been going on for?
Oh, for years.
I never got the fucking invite.
I mean,
I want to go to the hobble gobble nobble dobble whatever that was.
Hobble lobble, the gobble. What is it?
Yeah.
The hobnob
Hobnobble gobble.
Hobnobble gobble.
Yeah.
Wow, what a name for a formal event. I mean,
Yeah.
Detroit really knows how to just, woo, you know? I love it. This is great. So we might be traveling for the holidays. This is one of the things I love about Hiya is that their jars are easily packable. And I've talked to you guys about Hiya vitamins. They're children's vitamins, but they're the good ones. They're not filled with all the junk and filled with sugar in disguise. That's honestly why it was created. Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full body nourishment our kids need with a yummy taste that they love. My kids are always asking for their vitamins. We do this for us, right? We do research of our vitamins. Well, we should be doing the same for our kids. And guys, I did the research for you. My kids seriously love these. They're packed with vitamins, veggies, fruits, anything and everything they might need. So we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim the deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/morning. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/morning and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Let's dive into Georgia a little bit. I mean, I know my feelings going there, but guys, it is overwhelming, and I really want to just get your take. Look at his face.
I'm still tired. I mean, I'm tired. I am tired, and this is working backwards from it. But when I woke up Sunday morning to go to the airport, I woke up and I was like, I'm coming home. Like my everything in my body. And I woke up to a text from Kiki that was like, you have no idea the hell we just went through to get on this plane. And I was just like, God, right to the very last minute this weekend is cuckoos.
It's, guys, he didn't like it.
I mean, just your faces, the both of your faces right now. I'm exhausted. Right now, I want to take my 10 milligram melatonin. I want to turn on one of the Real Housewives episodes. I want to clap this laptop down, not say a word to anybody, and not even communicate for the next 48 hours.
I'm right there with you, but my melatonin would be a THC gummy. I would have some weed in it to, really just...
Which also kind of ties into this weekend, too.
Everything ties into this weekend. First of all, we were running on, or at least I was, no sleep. I think I got 8 hours the whole trip. And I can do okay with no sleep, but I just know when I come home, the hell that's going to ensue after. Yes, because I also had to be a mom right when I got home.
Yeah.
And I was not in the headspace to be able to even take care of myself. So adding 4 on top of that. But I will say and then there was some stuff thrown my way that I wasn't expecting on doing that I needed to do. And we'll get into that a little later. But I get there. Hank comes in the next day after the hall cookout. Lucky for him. But, and if you were at the Atlanta shows, you heard of Hank's experience. But, in my family, we and this is why I don't pick people up from the airport, okay? I'm used to not being picked up from the airport myself. My family's like, yo, get on Marta. And I do. I am Marta, and I will say Marta's probably not the safest place for one female to be alone with bags, right?
Marta is the transportation system out of Atlanta Hartsfield Airport to your surrounding areas.
Yes. Up until you're still inside the perimeter, which we went over. I know. Okay, never mind. We won't go there. But yes, it drops you closer to the suburbs. So
yes. And Leslie Hall, your lovely mother, when we were in Los Angeles a month ago, said, listen, the easiest thing for you to do is get on Marta. It drops you right off at the house. And I'm like, well, that sounds pretty simple. I can handle the Marta. So I'm at Detroit Metro and I'm texting our friend, Pat Casey, who is from Atlanta. And I said, I think I'm going to take the Marta. And he responds, you cannot take the Marta. You should not take it. So in that moment, I made up my mind that I was taking Marta.
Yep.
100%. If somebody tells me
you
no,
can't handle it,
somebody says I can't do it, I can figure it out.
Yep.
Now, you both know it takes me 30 minutes to log on to this laptop every day. It takes me a half an hour to find Emma's school, which is 2 blocks from our house. So I knew it could be challenging. So I get off of the plane and I go right to the kind lady at the information desk at the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. And I say, I would like to go on the Marta. And the guy behind me goes, dude, you can't take that Marta. And I turn around and I said, bro, I'm from Detroit. I can take the Marta.
I
So
can't.
this
I
woman
really
hears
can't.
me. She just finished her shift at Qdoba. She could
Uh-huh.
not have been sweeter. The Qdoba was right there at the airport. I had just gotten a nice little coffee. And she
That's
grabbed
the
my hand and she
Southerners.
said, honey, where are you going? And I
Mhm.
told her the last stop, whatever it's called. And she goes,
Doraville.
Doraville. She goes, you follow me. I got you. I grabbed this 70-year-old woman's hand. Could not have been any kinder.
So
And
sweet.
I walked with her through the entire airport. We got on the train. Now, we probably look like that movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Oh, really? Was there a legit height difference and age difference
There
there?
was an age difference, a height difference, everything difference possible. She was the sweetest, kindest. She had a bright yellow wig on. She was just adorable. But we sit down on the train and she's telling me about how we're going to get to Marta. And this other guy who turned to us and he said, oh, you're taking Marta today? Oh, man, there's construction. And I'm like, well, there we go. Here's problem number one. There's construction. Sure enough, though, I get on the Marta and it's delightful.
I
I
can't
meet all
handle
sorts
the
of
Marta.
people. I'm handing out sun chips that I've stolen from the Delta Sky Club. I'm making friends. I met a woman who had just been in Detroit recently. I'm sending these videos to friends of mine and they're like, are you this bored that you're just, these people don't want to talk to you. They're on Marta. So I get finally to the train station that I'm supposed to get at, and I feel a sense of accomplishment. And I'm like, I'm going to pop right out, and the whole house is right here. Well, no, I'm in the middle of a concrete jungle. Come to find out, you have to leave the Marta, and then you have to get an Uber to get to her dad's house, which was another $40. And by the way, my whole return from their house on Sunday to the airport was only $60 or $50.
No. Oh my gosh.
It was. So I'm like, I don't understand what I just did. And then, of course, I'm relaying this story to every single person I met in Atlanta. And they're like, it's Marta. And I'm like, yeah, the Marta. And they're like, no, it's not the Marta. It's Marta. And I'm like, okay, fine. Northerners put a the in front of everything. You know, I'm going to the subway. I'm going to the wherever. Like,
I kind of love the Marta. Like, I think it sticks. I like it.
I think we should make merch that says I survived the Marta.
Oh man. Wait, that's epic. I like it. We'll talk about that later. I really don't know if you haven't tried Nutrafol why you're not. I'm not kidding. This product has given me unbelievably thick and healthy looking hair. You guys know I am constantly changing the length, the color, trying to find a good balance of healthy but also what I like. And honestly, Nutrafol has made it really easy because it really has given me that thickness that I've always, I had before pregnancy and kind of lost, but it's helped me gain it back. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1 million people. They see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. The cold, dry air of winter can be unforgiving, but your hair doesn't have to suffer. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code MorningAfter. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code MorningAfter. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code MorningAfter. Yeah, and then so it's funny. This is what happens in my family. We ride the Marta, and normally, to be honest, my mom and my dad would pick me up at the Marta that you got an Uber from. But on Friday at 4:00, ain't nobody coming to pick you up at the Marta because the traffic in Atlanta is absurd. So I apologize, but you know what? What doesn't kill you, Hank, it only makes you stronger. You know what I mean?
Assumed once I rolled up to the house, no one was going to be there because otherwise somebody would have come and picked me up. But no, the entire house was filled with you, Kiki, Allie, your mom, your dad. And we roll right into waxing my nostrils. I'm like, I can't catch it. I just made it off the Marta. And by the way, strangers are stopping me at the Target and the market and talking to me about my nostrils. They are taking on a life of their own. If I were on the Grinder or the Match.com, I would only show my nostrils.
Oh my God. Yes, they're so clean. Look at them. They're so cute. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
There is no hair. I'm so happy. You know what? Because now when I look up at you, I'm not going to see a nose full of hair or nose full of hairs. Hank, you look incredible. I mean, I knew something was different about you. You can just feel the confidence rolling off of you right now.
He's even positioned his laptop a little lower so that we can see further up them.
Yes.
It's really weird. Today on the news, I did a live shot and I talked the entire time like this.
And they were like, Hank, that's the best live shot we've ever taken of you. You look incredible. Now, tell everybody though, did it hurt?
I explained this very clearly. Women have a different pain threshold than men. Men are wimps, they're babies, they're losers. Women are tough as shit. And the only tough man I know in my life is Matthew Stafford, Muhammad Ali, and whoever those two people were that we tried to watch fighting, but the stream didn't work.
Are you kidding? The two people?
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Thank you.
Simmer.
Thank you.
But it did not hurt. The one that hurt was the one where when it didn't come out.
We didn't wait long enough.
Yeah.
It didn't harden. Sorry about that. I would say that's my fault, but like you should have felt that. I don't know.
That video that Kiki put together and hit the IG, that shot of your mother walking around going, oh God, like it just kills me.
I know. You know what? And I love my mom, but she can handle a lot of things. But when you come to pain or anything that's throw up, bleeding, she's like, I'm out of here. She to be honest, growing up, if we had cramps, she'd be like, I have medicine. I'm like, I don't want your medicine, Mom. I know what your medicine is. And it's just, it's some strong stuff because she had the similar situations. And so she just doesn't like people in pain. So the fact that we were putting ourselves in pain as a choice, she was like, why would you ever fucking do that? I don't understand. So I love that she just was like, I'm legit out of here. Like, I can't do this. Speaking of my mom and my dad, I left early Saturday morning. So we had our 2 sold out shows Friday. And then I wanted to go spend some time with my best friend, Allie. So I was like, I'm going to go to Athens early. I'm going to leave you guys to deal with the parents and pack the car for the tailgate and do all of that. Meanwhile, knowing I made the right choice here, I didn't care if I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and get in an Uber. I knew that if I stayed, what would ensue. So please tell everybody about y'all's Saturday morning.
Oh, goodness.
Well, first of all, Hank was late to get up if I heard this question. So why don't you start?
Oh my gosh. Well, I get up early and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I get up in a rush because when you like sleep in at someone's house and that feels rude a little bit.
Not for Hank, it doesn't.
Well,
I didn't sleep in.
Yeah,
I heard, first of all, I get up every day at 6 a.m. It doesn't matter.
That's okay.
I was awake and I heard what I thought a family reunion. Come to find out it was just 2 people packing a van for a tailgate.
oh my gosh.
We take our tailgates seriously in the
I
South.
thought 30 people were in the house. And I'm like, I think it's just better if I sit in this room. And I think Kiki thought she woke me up because she like knocked on the door and she walked in and I'm like sitting up in bed, like looking at my phone. And I'm like, yeah, no, I've been up for hours. Like I'm just not
from what Kiki has just said, she felt like it might be rude to not be awake and maybe, I don't know, helping. So she probably thought you were sleeping, considering that was her thought process.
I was like, gee, he must be sleeping if he's not out here helping calm down the chaos that has ensued.
I can only imagine. I could just hear, Jay, no, not in there, Jay.
Nope. Yep, that was exactly it. Oh my God. I love you, the Halls.
Oh my God, I love them so much. I could
the
just see it,
concern about water.
That's a huge concern, though.
I was dehydrated.
Gigantic concern. I have a solution. Let's just all run up to the Winn-Dixie or the Piggly Wiggly and get ourselves a 24-pack of water. The conversations about, well, I think Allie's parents are bringing the water. They're not bringing the water. No, well, was there water in the basement? No, there's not water in the garage. Where's the water? Did you put the cooler with the water? And then your dad filled this cooler from the bar near the dining room and dragged it through the kitchen on your mama's new kitchen floors. And that thing had a leak. And when I saw that, I said, I'm out.
I'm out.
I gotta go.
Oh my God. Wait, please tell me the response was, what did Leslie do? I need to know.
Her face, it was like a masked gunman showed up at your front door. She could not even believe what she was seeing. But I said, she threw me a towel and I, wiped all that up, and your dad is just dragging that cooler through the house. And I'm just like, oh my.
I mean, now to my mom's defense on this one, they have done nothing to that home since I was in high school.
Yeah.
They just got those floors redone. So it's the first thing they have, what is it called?
Renovated?
Renovated and kind of like brought up to date.
Yeah.
So, and it's like pulling teeth trying to get my dad to do anything to the house. So she finally got to do it. And my dad drags a cooler. Also, how is the cooler not scratching? There's definitely, there's definitely wheel marks on those new floors. You couldn't even put carpets down or rugs. Sorry. You weren't allowed to put rugs down yet.
And
he's dragging a cooler.
Their interaction alone could be done in a 2-person play that could be on Broadway. It was extraordinary, and their dedication.
And it would
your
star
mom,
like Courtney Cox and someone else.
Your mom with all those little finger sandwich. I mean, it is absolutely
is
adorable.
Oh my God! Speaking of the finger sandwiches, she made finger sandwiches for the tailgate, and meanwhile, she is making this pimento cheese. Very Southern of her, okay? And she looks at me and she's like, well, I know you're not going to be able to tell me what's missing because I have the same palate as she does where we haven't tasted enough in our lives to really know what food is missing. So she looks at Kiera, and she also doesn't like pimento cheese, so she won't try it herself. So she's making it, and she looks at Kiera, who is not from the South, and is like, hey, Kiera, try this. Tell me what it's missing. And Kiera was like, I think how many times do you have pimento cheese in your life?
One other time.
So what are we doing here? And she's like, tell me what it needs. And you tried it and you were like, let me. And she literally, Kiera took all the ingredients and just started doing it herself. And how sweet of my mom to try and prepare for this tailgate, wanted it to be so special for all of us that she is making something that she's never once made in her life and putting it into finger sandwiches. These days seem so much shorter, but yet we still have to get all the things done on our to-do list. And honestly, cooking meals isn't at the top of mine. And this is why I love Factor meals. No prep, no mess meals from breakfast to dinner. I mean, anything in between. They're easy, they're nutritious. They have 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, smoothies. So if you are struggling with the dinners or breakfast or whatever, guys, go check out Factor. They let you do you. You choose from up to 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply just eat a well-balanced diet. Head to factormeals.com/morningafter50 and use code morningafter50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code morningafter50 at factormeals.com/morningafter50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Guys, I would really also try the smoothies because they're really, really good.
I have never, and I worked retail in high school and my early parts of college. I don't ever remember standing for such an extended period of time as I did during that tailgate and to that all the way up to the game. Yet what I'm most horrified by was on the ride home when I was complaining how my body needed to be thrown into a river. And your mom said, I told Kelly, when people are older like you, that they can't go all day like that. In that moment, I wanted to shoot myself out the back window of that van.
She did. She goes, Kelly, Kiera, you guys have to remember that Hank is old.
She's like, scolding us.
And I was like, I go, Mom, he is not old. And she goes, he can't do this. His body is older. And I was just, I literally cried laughing because I knew at one moment she was going to say this to you.
I would say from rolling in there at about 10:30 in the morning, until kickoff, which was 7:30.
Not even kickoff because we were standing on the sideline.
Right, but I'm saying kickoff is around 7:30 is when I put my butt into a seat.
Yes.
Other than that, there was a brief moment where Kiki and I sat in the van for a few minutes, and then there was a brief moment when I was at someone's tailgate whom I don't know. And just sat in their chairs.
Yeah, you did. You sat in the chairs.
I
was proud of you in that moment. I don't think they cared.
So
no one cared.
I'd say within those almost 12 hours, I probably sat for 20, 30 minutes.
I agree. And to be honest, it was my fault and everyone else who was preparing for the tailgate that we forgot the chairs.
Yeah, in all the chaos in that morning, we somehow missed the chairs.
The chairs, which very important if you're going to be tailgating all day, is actually some seats. But one of my favorite things that morning too is going to the fraternity house. And we went to Sigma Chi because my dad was a Sigma Chi. We were parked right next to the house. And we walk in, and one of my dear friends, okay, so we have Allie, who's pregnant and very noticeably pregnant. And then we have my parents who are old. And then we had another couple with us who was our friends, Tom's and Haley. And Haley is an accounting professor at Georgia. And so we walk in, we're talking to these nice frat guys. I think they were freshmen and sophomore. You could tell they were like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the conversation, one of them stops and goes, aren't you my accounting professor? Looked right at Haley. I mean, and Haley, sweet Haley's like, oh my gosh, yes. Wait, are you my student? Should I not be here? Should I not be in a fraternity house? Is this bad? And I was like, these are a lot of questions. Honestly, I don't know, but we have aged so fucking much. We are sitting in fraternity house like, yeah, we're still cool with a pregnant bitch and a professor. I'm going, fuck, our life has changed. We're not that cool anymore.
And they were very well-behaved, nice men.
Yes, he goes, ma'am, aren't you my accounting professor? Literally said, ma'am. And listen, nothing better than going to the South and just being the sweet people, manners. When they called me ma'am, I was like, you knock it off because fuck, that makes me feel old. But I will say, like, it does feel nice. It feels nice to be surrounded by that in a way. But I mean, that threw us through a loop. We all stopped in our like tracks and we're like, oh my God.
Well, what Kiki and I kept saying to one another was, are we horrible humans? Because everyone is so nice. They bump into you. They don't say, just excuse me. They stop, they turn around and they say, I am so sorry. I did not mean to bump into you. Excuse me. And I'm like, what?
No. You and I were like missing the grip. We're like, can someone please like be rude to me right now? I'm about to lose my shit.
Oh my God.
Somebody please push me down. And at one point I look at Kiki and I go, girl, I don't know what is going on, but nobody has brown hair. Everyone is a beautiful Georgia blonde and just as happy as can be. And every tailgate we pass, do y'all want a burger? Do y'all want some fries? I'm like, no, brother, I just want that chair.
Can you get up where you're sitting from, please? I'll take that seat. I know. I'm sorry. That's our bad. We totally forgot. But I love being surrounded by just kind, genuine hearted people. And obviously that's not everybody in the South.
It obviously sure isn't everybody.
No. Oh, let's get to that.
We need to get to this game.
Okay. Yes. So let's just blow past a lot of the day, but we get to the game. We get these sideline things, which are so fun. Thank you to Sean Chappis. We experience the whole pregame. And you know what? Georgia's based on tradition. I told Kiera and Hank, I was like, it's funny because that is the same pregame that I did in college. Now, were there more lights and fireworks? 100%. But it is based on tradition, which is what you love. Like I could do the whole pregame situation as a cheerleader.
You were doing the
I
whole
was,
pregame
yes, I was.
situation.
I can't help it. Just is like, it is inbred in me. It's just there.
I
Is that
need
the
to
right
say one
saying?
thing.
Inbred? Don't say you're inbred.
No, yeah, wait, what is that?
That's a whole other southern
Ingrained.
thing.
Ingrained. You guys know what I'm trying to say, not inbred. Don't get it confused.
I have been to Big Ten games. I have been to your lovely Super Bowl. I have
Yeah.
never seen anything like this in my life.
Nope.
Y'all, like, this made the Super Bowl pregame look like romper room. These people, when they rolled that dog out, I was like, Lord help me. I have not, there's dance teams, there's drill teams, there's fireworks, there's pre-produced videos, there's people dressed like ninja warriors for whatever reason. I have never seen so much pomp and circumstance and I'm in half an hour from the biggest college stadium in football.
Yeah.
I have never, and so I posted all these stories and people just wrote back, SEC, you ain't never done it. Have you ever been to Alabama? Roll Tide. Have you ever been down to Ole Miss? Watch out. You see the women dressed up? I'm like, I have never, it is, I'm going to give it to you. It is an experience that everyone should experience on some level.
Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, the SEC really is like that's why I try to like tell people, I'm like, no, in the South, and that's SEC, it is all about college football. And that's why, because they put on these like, it is, and you get a feeling of just like being part of a big family. Like everyone is, I don't know, it's just different than professional sports completely. And I'm like praying one of my girls at least considers Georgia. We got to get in, but at least considers it, because I would love nothing more than to just continue to visit there. But yes, it is a wild time. And if you have the chance to ever go, you 1000% need to go. Also, though, just bring chairs. We all know that women's health has been overlooked for generations, and O positive is trying to change that. That's why I love them. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a vaginal probiotic. O positive makes an incredible one called Uro. And to be honest, many factors that we don't even think about, but sex, working out, hormones, menstruation, those can all disrupt vaginal health. And to be honest, I would like a healthy vagina. So there's that. Uro's clinically studied probiotic strains and prebiotic fibers target these issues at the core and support overall vaginal health. It supports healthy vaginal odor, vaginal pH, vaginal flora, and yeast balance. And I know this can seem like a lot to listen to right now, but guys, we've got to take care of ourselves, and we've got to take care of our vaginas. Uro has over 5,000 five-star reviews and is a top-selling product on Amazon and at Target. So take proactive care of your vaginal health and head to opositive.com/morningafter or enter morning after at checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's opositiv.com/morningafter for 25% off. You know what the SEC also has? Is some crazy fucking fans. Holy my goodness. Let's remind everybody that's listening to this podcast, these are 18-year-olds to, well, they're a little older now. We'll just say 23. Okay? These are children. And we are sitting in these stands yelling profanities at an 18-year-old. I'm going, what in the world? Not only that, we're going to get to a very specific situation that happened. And I want to set the stage, okay? We walk into this, it's club seating. It's great seating. You have there's a ton of food, and you have your designated seat. That's outside, right? So we come, we're a little late because we were on the field enjoying. We come in, Hank's hot because his back hurts. I'm hot because I'm definitely not drunk enough for the surrounding people. And Kiera is just too sweet, and my mom is fucking tired. My mom had already almost gotten in a fight. So we sit down, my mom's telling me about this couple in front of us and how she kindly asked the gentleman just during the pregame show if he would just sit down, because where we're sitting, the front row, which is where these people were seated, are so much higher than the people in front of them. So they don't really have to stand up. It's kind of why you buy club seating, so you don't have to do that. So this large gentleman standing, she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to find my daughter and her friends on the sideline. Like, do you mind just for a second? And he got pissed. And he was like, I'm not going to repeat because I don't know exactly what he said, but he was not happy. And his wife turned around and looked at my mother and said, do you know how big of a game this is? Okay, first of all, bitch, it's college. Sorry to just, I mean, I understand Georgia fans. I love y'all so much, but it is 18-year-olds on the field. Okay. So we sit down, I hear this story and I'm like, okay, Mom, I think you're being dramatic, whatever. But then we all sit down and we are behind this lovely couple. In fact, the husband didn't come back and sit down at all because I think he was so pissed off at my mom for asking him to sit. So he stood in the back, which was actually very nice of him. We appreciate that because I wouldn't want to have to stand up. You know, we were tired of standing. Am I right, Hank?
We were tired of standing. I need to say two things.
Okay,
I've woken up the last 2 nights at 4 a.m. and this woman's face is front and center. Haunting.
Us.
And if it happens tonight, I'm going to have to actually talk to a therapist about it because I have not recovered. The Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight had nothing on this bitch.
No.
What we encountered, I literally at one moment was like, oh, shit is going down. Like shit is going to go down. And I've only had half my free hot dog. And I'm like, I've got to finish this hot dog because I'm going to get into a fight with this man. Now, what happened was, this woman was reacting to this game like nothing I had ever seen before. Kelly at one point said, I think she's done 400 squats just from getting up and down and up and down.
1,000. You know what she was acting like? I'm going to pause and then come back. She was acting like her son was the quarterback in the Super Bowl. That's what she was acting like. That this was the Super Bowl and her son was the quarterback of one of the teams. Okay, continue.
Except for imagine Margaret probably being as cool as a cucumber.
Oh yeah, Margaret. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is just like if it was
Margaret didn't break a sweat. This woman was something wasn't right, and I was like, I have to shoot a video of this because this is a memory that I need to remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not remembering that her husband is right behind me as I'm shooting said video. Now, when Kelly explains her husband is big, I mean, like, I'm 6'1", I'm a larger frame guy. This is a guy who is an extra on the Dukes of Hazzard big. Like, he's friends with Boss Hogg. He is gigantic. He's 100%. He's, he is living his Southern life. This game is everything to him.
Yes.
And he needs to know what is going on. He turns to me and says, what the are you recording my wife for? And in that moment, when you're busted? And I'm just like, no.
I know, I get cringy.
See. Do I say to him, well, I do this morning podcast with Matthew Stafford's wife, and I really thought it would be fun to share it with our thousands of followers of how insane your fucking wife is. Or do I say, which I did, sir, I'm a Big Ten guy. I've never been to an SEC game, and it's amazing to see the passion of these fans.
Oh my God.
True. And that is true. Like, I heard it. I honestly was like, oh my God, do I say something to like calm this situation down? But then I heard you say that and I was like, well done, Hank. Good job. Here's my thing. We get passion, right? We get passion. Right, Hank?
I totally get it. I understand why they were excited about this game. It just seemed like it was just a bit extreme to the point where if I happened to like miss a play or I wasn't as tuned into that like as they were, I would have felt like I had done something wrong. They were making me almost uncomfortable with their behavior.
Okay, I love that you just said that. Yeah. And I agree. It was absurd. It was honestly absurd the way the interactions were happening. Like her reactions to this game. Meanwhile, we are in the first quarter when this is happening. First quarter.
Oh, it's been like 5 minutes. All of this happened within the first 5 minutes of the game.
And you know what? There was nothing and nobody who was going to stand up, sit down, that was going to make us stand up because we were tired of standing. We had been standing all day. So our asses were going to remain in those seats. So as Hank is getting more food, he walked out of the situation for a second and I text him, I go, are you good? as something is happening on the field, the wife turns to me and looks at me and is standing up, and she's like
in your face.
and I go, I honestly didn't know, Hank, I did not know how to respond. Because I wasn't on my feet cheering as loud as I can, she turns around and fucking just, I don't know. She's just, and I looked at her, I go, I'm sorry, what? And she like gave me just a little like, and turned back around. I looked at Kara, I go, what the fuck just happened? Like, when did I get involved in this? I'm going, whoa, this
is a lot.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much to take in. So, you know what? And the daughter looks at her mom and goes, Mom, oh God, I want to get this right. Don't engage. Don't engage. I go, engage? I'm pretty sure she came at me. Like, I'm not engaging. I was so close, Hank, to being like, you know what? I'm going to make a formal complaint against you. And we'll just see what happens.
But can you let everybody know how she eventually did engage?
My God.
Oh my
this
God.
Is so
I'm like
great.
about to throw, guys, I'm about to throw up right now. I was sitting in between you two and I wanted to die. I wanted to die so badly.
Wait, which part of the story are we talking about?
This is when I went to go get a drumstick ice cream cone. And then she...
Oh, okay, this is when we're leaving.
Yes.
This is halftime.
Yeah.
We left at halftime.
Yeah.
Listen, relax, all you Georgia fans. The reason we left at halftime is because I had a 6 a.m. We have 6 a.m.?
Yeah, our flight was at 7 a.m. the next morning.
We had a 7 a.m. flight out of Atlanta. We were exhausted. We had no sleep. Hank's still yawning. Meanwhile, this family is sitting inside right next to where this is happening. So there was a mom, a dad, and I think 2 daughters, or a daughter and a friend. And then I am going to get my ice cream, and the ice cream thing is right next to this table. And I overhear the mom, which is this just tells you like what Georgia fans are like. And I'm not, listen, not all Georgia fans. Incredibly just intense, over the top Georgia fans. Okay, that's what this was. This is not all Georgia fans. I reached down to get my Twix ice cream, and I hear her go, that's Matthew Stafford's wife. And her daughter was like, yes, Mom. And she goes, well, she could be a better fan. And I go, I wanted her to turn around and be like, well, the team's losing, so I don't feel like cheering. And I know, because she was so mad I wasn't cheering, I almost did it. But I took the higher road, Hank. I really did. I said, you know what? You're here. I'm gonna climb here, and I'm not gonna turn around. And I'm just gonna let you sit on, because they were overserved. Both of them had been overserved. And that was another issue within the match. And to be honest, we were underserved. Like, we needed so many more cocktails.
We were. And in fairness, the defense to them, anytime it's a 7:30 kick, I think the majority of Georgia had been overserved by them.
Yes.
And again, there was no malice against it was like, I had just never seen people react to college football like that. Like,
it was like a movie
football game. Like, and again, I've been to the Super Bowl, like,
yes,
in your suite, and there's a lot of passion and there's a lot of emotion. But what that was like, that would be like somebody's holding a $50 million jackpot in front of me, and I have to like react, and that's how she was reacting. Like, I was like,
it was yes. And you know what? And I know I said Georgia fans. I shouldn't say Georgia fans. I should just say some. Some are very over the top. Then there's some like me, and some like, well, I don't know, my mom and dad. Like, my mom was sitting there like this.
Right.
And she's a big Georgia fan. Mm-hmm. But you know what? She's like, hey, I can't change this outcome of this game. I will cheer when they do something well. I will be sad. I'm not going to stand up and cuss out these 18-year-olds when they don't perform as they should. But it is just, you know what? It was an incredible experience. We were surrounded by incredible people all day long throughout the tailgates. I mean, everybody was so kind. And then we sat down.
Yeah. And I just want to clarify for the listeners, this wasn't like people that were getting up and just like ecstatically cheering and like, you know, rah, rah. It wasn't like that. I mean, like, people were like sobbing and like yelling like horrible words at the quarterback.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, like, this was a very emotionally engaged type of fandom. This wasn't just like people being a little too loud.
No, yeah, and that's very true. It was just over the top. It was too much. It was just too much. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you listening right now are probably multitasking. Yep, while you're listening to us talk, you're probably also driving, cleaning, exercising, or maybe even grocery shopping. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you can be doing right now. Getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy and you could save money by doing it right from your phone. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $750 on average, and auto consumers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year, so you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who save with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations. But you know what? I really do think we took the high road. Emma's here.
Jake is going to. I've got a live dad to daddy happening right behind me right now because I'm doing this podcast, and Jake is putting Emma to bed.
I wish you could take her to bed.
I wish I could too, but Daddy has a podcast and I have to work. No,
Emma, you get
Emma,
a
can you
pretty
say
dress
hi?
to wear and your nails done.
Are you
and your
excited to get your hair
hair?
done? How are you going to get your hair done?
Curly.
Curly? We're
Ooh,
gonna
I
do
like
curls.
that.
And can you ask for some nail polish advice? What color do you think?
Green.
Green? I love
Why
the color
green?
green.
For Christmas cutter.
Because she's smart. That's why. And it's Christmas time, Hank.
Christmas
Hey,
colors.
Emma, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You could do like green, red, or green and red.
Like green with
That
like
could be fun.
sparkles.
Green with sparkles.
Green, red.
Yeah, that could be fun. I love that.
I'm going to put you to bed. As soon as I finish this up, I'm going to put you to bed, and then I'm going to do one more of these. Okay?
When we're almost done with this one,
too.
too.
Now, and then he'll be right there.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
I want to
Done.
wait
Yeah.
for you.
Just, okay. So, all right.
We're literally about to wrap this up, Emma, and so he'll be right
there.
Yeah, you can sit right here just for a sec. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so it was honestly a very crazy experience. I'm so glad that the both of you got to experience the good and the not so good. And then, the next day, Kira and we do get to the airport on time, but like a Gen Zer, she's like, oh, I have Clear. And then Clear's not open. And all of a sudden she's like, I don't have my ID. I'm like, girl, I love you, but I'm out.
Oh my God. Okay. I need to clarify. I have never missed a flight in my life, knock on wood. And so this is not like normal me behavior. I had left my ID and my credit card at Jay and Leslie's because we woke up at the ass crack of dawn after getting no sleep, and
Yeah.
Kelly had to wake me up because my phone had died. It wasn't charging.
She was a
And
mess,
I was a hot mess,
which
and
never happens.
It doesn't usually happen. So I took my ID out of my game bag intentionally. It was a nightmare. I was like, Kelly, you go ahead.
And I was like, all right, girl, see ya.
I
It's like,
think
listen,
I
I gotta get my
honest-
ass on this plane.
Because here's the thing. You are so in charge. You've got stuff so nailed down. Our
Very
batteries
organized.
were on empty.
They were gone.
It
Done.
was amazing that you were able to walk yourself through that airport because we
Yeah.
were on E.
How about this? The gate had closed.
The gate had
Like they had
closed.
shut the door, and somehow, in some miracle, she got him to open it.
Yeah, I swear I have this like ferry where I can't miss flights. Guys, I was crying talking to the
no.
TSA agent and not because I was upset, but because I was so tired. I was like, I'm fine getting on another flight, but I just wish I was in bed in the meantime. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever gone through the airport without your ID, but you can. You just have to talk to the government, quote unquote, the government, and answer some questions, and then get every item swabbed in your bag.
Yeah.
And then luckily,
Every item.
literally every item got swabbed. And then a really sweet Delta agent ran me through the airport, and he begged them to open the door, and I got on the flight. It was
Oh, we did. That was
yeah.
very nice
Yeah,
of him.
yeah.
That was nice.
I got his number and texted
Well,
him.
that was a
God.
perfect way to end that Georgia weekend.
Yes.
Because
I mean, you know what? When I will say though, it was a great weekend, and even though we talk about the things that weren't so great, just because it honestly made us laugh and cry. So with that, with that, we're going to close this podcast because we're running a little over. But thank you to everyone who came out in Atlanta and in Athens. Georgia fans, we love you. We love all of you. Sometimes it's aggressive, and that's okay. Sometimes I wish LA fans were more aggressive, but that's the thing, right? We gotta find a balance.
And my nose has never looked sexier.
And your nose never looks sexier. All right. Limited drop of merch is now all made and should be shipping out this week. Tune in to Time Out this Tuesday for those college and NFL differences, both like culturally and with the actual rules. TMA will release on Wednesday this week ahead of Thanksgiving. It is a, Thanksgiving themed episode that we hope you enjoy. And we will be in New York City for our last stop of the Cleat Chaser Tour. Also, we are now calling it the Break Even Tour. Saturday is December 21st at the Stand. Buy your tickets so we can actually break even and not be in the red. Rate 5 stars, like and subscribe. And until then, have a splash.
Make a splash. We love you.
Mwah.
All right. Hank, go put her to bed. We'll reach
Night, night, Emma.
Say night, night.
Night night.